dear viewers, we are near the end. The end of our trials. The end of destroying all of the enemies and all the bosses and getting back the treasure that is rightfully ours, as in we stole it first. Of course, no rescuing treasure is complete without at first fighting a pirate or two, or just one. Oh, great shot there, Wario, thanks. That's right, Captain Skull, who has a cannon for an arm, and a hook shot for another hand. You can't tell right now, but when we get up close you'll see it. This boss fight is straightforward. All you have to do is smack him a few times, knock him unconscious, and then drive him into the ground. Sounds like a party I was at last week. And of course he'll go back and forth between the two halves of the ship, and he'll shoot at you if you come too close. Seems pretty easy at first, and it is. But don't worry, as the fight goes on, it will get a little more difficult. Yeah, you can go down the middle side, but if you can jump between the... I'm not sure exactly what to call it. A coil, I guess. If you jump on that, it'll be quicker, basically. Yeah, if you take your time trying to hit him, he'll become invincible. This invincibility will get more annoying to us after we hit him this time, and I'll show you what I mean. So he takes his time going back and forth, and he throws giant bombs at the other side of the ship, which is, of course, why it's important to get to the other side. And I wish he hadn't broken up all those barrels. That really was not preferred. If you try hitting him like that, after he's already taken 3 hits, no matter what, he'll be invincible to it. So you take these barrels and you smack him with it. And yeah, you can tell, even if he's charging up, he'll still stop him. Which is why it was annoying for him to have gone and destroyed those barrels, because we really could use them right now. But that's okay. We've still got plenty on this other side. And for the record, yes, the barrels can be taken across the coils, and yes, he can launch at the middle ground if you stay there too long. Neither of these things are I was about to say, neither of these things are a problem. I forgot he already destroyed all these barrels, so... Get him over to the other side, and as you can see, he's up on the crow's nest, but we'll take a barrel up to him and smack him up there. Make sure it doesn't hit us, and that is the boss fight, ladies and germs. A fittingly dramatic death for a character we hardly knew. At least he wasn't a dragon or something like that. That's right, folks. We have all of our treasures, all of our statues, all of our spritlings, and now all of our key pieces. And Wario's still unperplexed. He just goes, alright, whatever. So yes, now the chest is open, and time to find what lurks in the shadows. And if you remember our story from the beginning, you'll know exactly what's in there. It's the final showdown, and this is a short boss fight at first, so... What do you say we end the LP right now by tackling on this boss fight? Yeah, I've completely neglected to show off what happens when you link up to the GBA, because I don't have that game, nor do I have a link for the GBA, but you can search that stuff on YouTube. I'm sure somebody's done it. It still doesn't look like a key. I don't get it. Anyways, the Dark Jewel. The Cyclops Dark Jewel squid thing. Kind of reminds me of Bomberman 64 in a way. Anyways, yeah, no introduction. Here's the boss fight. So, here's what you do. you break these spritlings that are encased in these jewels, and they attack him. And you, of course, avoid his lasers and fire. Sometimes easier said than done, but all you really have to do is keep dashing. Each round he'll throw 5 spritlings in jewels, and you gotta break them to make him be knocked down. And if he encases you in this fire, as you can tell, he'll do attacks at you. You can cheat it by doing better than I'm doing, and, oh my god, avoid this fire. It's not normally this hard. And now, you can throw him out. Sorry, Black Jewel, you are not gonna be a girl's best friend! Boy, that camera got all herky-jerky. Yeah, that's the major down part to this boss fight. It is, in fact, a rinse and repeat. And yes, he does have 8 hit points, I suppose. So we have to do this 8 times. It will get a little tedious, but maybe there's something else to this boss fight that I'm not revealing. Maybe there's secretly a second phase or something like that. And as you can tell by me saying something like that, that's probably not the case. Break all the spritlings and hurl him off the stage. You don't have to hurl him, but you can also pile drive him, but I like to feel like I'm actually doing something to the boss fight that is not doing anything to me. Yeah, that is unfortunately one of the major criticisms of this game, and possibly why it's not the most well-remembered game of the GC era, as it were. Not only is the game itself short, but the ending boss fight is not only short itself, but also pretty underwhelming. I mean, they've got a great setup here, the music's good. Not like it's a boss that we have a whole lot of investment in, but at the same time, they could have done something with him. Looks like diamonds are not forever! Yeah, I can't think of any good diamond puns. I'm just gonna start pile driving him after this. Not that I'm saying I would have liked this boss fight to have been a whole lot more challenging, although I kinda do. The thing I just wanted to have is a little more variety. And that's really one of the things that brings this game down in my mind, is that I do like it. Yes, of course, that's why I'm, doing a Let's Play of it. But the fact of the matter is that it's just, I feel a little cheated almost. This game has been so great at offering variety through the levels, through the overworld, through all this different stuff. You'd think they'd have a little variety and a little effort put into their final boss, but... like, I can't even say it's generic, it's honestly just kinda lazy. Shit, I forgot about this. I don't even really know what else to say about it, it just kinda is a little tedium here at the end. I don't know why he keeps doing this shooting fireballs out of your eyes attack, when theoretically, I mean they do home in on you, but theoretically it'd make more sense for him to do his laser rings. And what is its voice supposed to sound like? I can't really tell, it sounds like a parasite or something like that. Like, can't even think. Like, maybe an alien? Doesn't sound like no deep throat, low-voiced monster or anything like that. And those are some big birds flying around its head for dizziness. I guess that's proportionate to one's head when they get knocked and are a bit dizzy from a good bonking to the head. This music is great. It sounds like it could be in the boss fight of a Donkey Kong 64. Eat your heart out, Grant Kirkhope. Good art style in the background, too. I like how you go different areas. You can see in the background different color schemes and that kind of stuff. But overall, they maintain this very dooming, almost kind of scary, desolate background at the same time, especially underneath you. But there's a rainbow in the background. And a black hole. I'm no scientist, and I don't even know if it would require being a physics major or whatever to be able to understand if and that looks like a red shift up there. If all these things can, in fact, be present in the presence of a black hole. Speaking of black holes, that's where this guy's going. Yes, Wario, you win. Indeed you do. So, the end of the game, and typically what I do over the credits is give my final thoughts on the game as a whole, but first, we have these little guys to be thankful for what we've done for them. I remember first beating this game and realizing they look a lot creepier up close. At a distance, I remember thinking they almost had a smile on their face or something like that. So they've got 40 people. You think they can rebuild my castle? Or can they do a festive jig? Guys, I don't see any gold, I don't see any bricks, I don't see any cement, I don't see how you're gonna put my castle back together. But apparently the beauty of their work was so great that it made Wario's face become more elastic. Alright, so end credits. Time for my thoughts on the game. There is a little track that plays underneath and stills from the game, but don't really care about those. So, what did we learn? Well, we learned that 3D platformers on the GameCube have certainly different levels of quality. There's the higher levels, like our Mario Sunshines, and then there's lower levels, like this one. That's not to say it's bad, though, because the art style is pretty good. I'd say Wario makes a good transition from all of his 2D platformers on the Game Boy Advance to a full-fledged 3D platformer for the GameCube, and this would certainly, unfortunately, not really pave the way for the future, because he does have games on the Wii, but when it's not WarioWare, it's Wario Land Shake It, which is a 2D platformer, which doesn't make a lot of sense. But this game has a lot to offer. It's got a lot of clever world design, very creative, very varied. The controls are mostly intuitive, kind of floaty, which brings it down a little bit. The music, thoroughly enjoyable, most of the time. The only things that really bring it down for me are the fact that the controls are so floaty, the not really varied boss design, and the kind of a letdown of an ending. So while it's certainly not going to be my favorite GameCube game of all time, it might be in the top 10 or 15, just because I have fond memories of it. And I like Wario as a character, so... On the whole, if you're looking for a fun platformer that you might have missed during the GameCube era, I'd say give this one a shot. It's $15, so it's cheap to get, and you might find yourself coming back to it someday. But enough of my rambling, time to see what the Spritelings built for us. Depending on how many you save, it could be big or it could be small. And of course, since we saved them all, we got our full-fledged castle back. Greed and all. Excellent indeed. So thank you guys so much for watching my LP. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you pick up the game yourself. Next LP, I don't know what it'll be. I've tossed around some ideas, but you'll just have to wait and find out whenever it happens. So until then, thank you all so much. See you later.